Hello, 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 sellers. Come on in. Come on in. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling on eBay. So I got a great question, and I actually get this, I would say, at least a couple times a month. So I wanted to share it on a live stream. So if you're watching me on my Facebook business page, I love to be selling. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're on my YouTube channel, Kathy Terrill, I love to be selling. Be sure to hit subscribe, and I surely thank you. Or if you're catching this on my podcast, Kathy Terrill, I love to be selling. Thank you. And thanks for all the downloads. So this is the question. People will say, can you recommend sellers to follow? Or can you recommend a certain category? Or can you recommend a certain price point to sell? And this is things that I work on one-on-one with members of my Love to Be Selling Insider membership. And with my Inner Circle, which is a VIP coaching program I have. And I work with people one-on-one on this, is people say, because what they want is to look at a successful seller and they want to copy their selling style. So my question to you is, and this is going to be good whether you're new to eBay or more experienced, is does copying somebody's selling style work? And there's no right and wrong answer to this, by the way. Okay, this is not a gotcha. Has it helped you? Let me know. Comment below. Does it help you? I'll say this a lot on YouTube. People are watching haul videos and following certain sellers because they're copying their sourcing style or they want to get the selling information. And I get it. It's important to know what's trending on eBay, what things they might overlook that are going to make them good money. Okay. But so totally do that. And I encourage you, if you're going to be following people on haul videos, look for people where they have access to similar stores that you do. I mean, it's great to watch people in Goodwill bins, but if you don't have a Goodwill bins near you, I'm not sure how helpful that's going to be for you. So if you do a lot of estate sales, you want to look for people that are doing estate sales. If you are doing regular thrift stores, find people that are doing that. And if you have people that are more on yard sales, take a look at that because that's going to help you more. But the big thing is, does copying somebody's selling style benefit you? Okay. And this got me thinking because I shop on eBay. I shop on eBay a lot. And one way to source, besides the bins and thrift stores and estate sales, is flipping off of eBay. And a lot of us do it. I'm raising my hand on this. And I'm not alone. A lot of other sellers do it, which is looking for certain things on eBay, buying them when the price is low, and then flipping it, buy low, sell high. So I was looking at some women's clothing, shopping for spring, summer, looking at some specific brands and styles. And I came across this seller who had, well over 1,000 listings up. I'm going to say between 1,000 and 3,000 listings up. And some really dreadful pictures. I mean, really bad pictures. And most of the stuff was underpriced. Which grabbed my attention because I buy to flip. And I'm like, let me take a look at some of the other brands she's selling and see if I can buy a couple of things from this seller. And I looked at her. She got great feedback. Top rated seller. Has a store. But really awful pictures. Pretty dreadful titles. Same thing with descriptions. And I was catching myself judging, going, wow, these pictures are really awful. And wow, the descriptions. But I look at her, she's got great feedback. People are very happy. And I thought, why? Because they're getting really good value and they don't mind the dreadful pictures, the titles and descriptions, because they're getting a good value. So for instance, like a Michael Kors, I'm just going to pick something. A Michael Kors that would normally sell for $50, I'm going to get from $30 with her. And I'm assuming that she's sourcing from places like Goodwill bins. So she's getting stuff really inexpensively, which is why she's able to sell for low prices, okay? And clearly this seller was in the volume game. It made me think of Woolworths. It made me think of Walmart, where they may not be making that much money on each item, but they're going for a volume game. And the other thing, I did buy a couple of things from her, which I successfully flipped, is she consistently sending out coupons, come back and shop with me, buy 3, get 1 free, all kinds of stuff. So she's clearly doing a lot of promoting, clearly doing a lot of discounting, and lists very, very, very quickly. I don't know if she's doing her own listing or if she's got VAs doing her listings, right? And I'm not giving up the idea. But there's other sellers like this. She's not the only one. It's just this one really struck me because I looked at her listings, clearly just snapping pictures as fast as she can. The titles were okay, but, she could have dug a little harder on some of the keywords. But, you got the brand, you got the color, you got the size. So it's like the basics are there. And again, description like one sentence. And also did the thing for measurements where she didn't put the measurements in the description. She uses the tape measure in the pictures, which some sellers like to do. I personally favor, if you want to do that, I think it's fine. But then I also encourage you to put it in the description. Sometimes people have a hard time seeing it in the picture, so putting it in the description is helpful. But clearly her business model was volume. And she was successful at that. And clearly the way she's sourcing, she's able to underprice a lot of people. And her total business is about moving things very quickly. That may work for you. So that's the thing I caught myself going, oh my goodness. But you know what? It works for her. It's what she likes. Clearly, what matters to her is to move her inventory quickly. And she's got a couple of thousand listings. So it's like list it as fast as possible, sell it as fast as possible, get the money and run and keep listing. And if this is why I'm bringing this up, if that's what you want, you don't want to dwell on the listing. You're not concerned necessarily on having the greatest quality listing. And again, I'm not knocking this at all. I'm just saying it is a business model, much more like a Walmart. It's a mass market kind of thing. Okay, just move it, move it, move it, move it, move it. As opposed to, I think of my friend Linda's stuff. She's the top consignment seller on eBay. And she has 18,000 listings. Okay, 18,000 listings. She's eBay's top consignment seller. She has a team. Her son works for her. They have a warehouse. I mean, this is a whole operation. But they started with just her like selling out of her home. So she's completely grown her business. And they have incredibly high quality listings, pictures, the whole thing. So two completely different business models. And they suit them. Okay. So for Linda, she's going for higher margin. She sells a lot of luxury. But I know her son who works for the business. And he said, Kathy, we do some middle of the line stuff. So it's not all luxury. Okay. So I think of something like a Macys where they have luxury goods, like a Michael Kors, like Gucci, but then they have medium price things too. And so Max, Linda's son, was telling me they do have, more medium price things. So that's what I was saying you got to look at when you're following sellers, when you're looking at sellers, whether it's on YouTube or podcasts or on social media, is look at it and what suits you. And most people are sort of in the middle, okay, which is you're looking to make decent margins, which is you're looking to make a decent amount of money after your cost of goods and after you pay your eBay fees. So you may not be to the extreme of my seller, who's got a couple thousand listings up and is not really caring so much, about the quality of her pictures, but just to get stuff up, as opposed to Linda, where you've got a whole team. You've grown your business to the point where you have a team, an enormous amount of listings, which is to get things up, but to have pretty decent quality pictures. It doesn't mean you have to have a photo studio, just that it's clean and it's crisp. I can see what it is. Spend a little bit of time on the keywords in my title. So besides the brand and the color, I've got other descriptive keywords that are going to help you find the item, help eBay search find the item, help Google search find the item, and then fill in my item specifics in my description. But you really got to look at, you may go through a phase, like if you have an enormous amount of unlisted inventory, and you are really getting stressed with how much unlisted inventory you have. And you're somebody that is spending 30 minutes per listing. I'm done. I see you. 20 minutes per listing. Yes, if it's a higher end item, you know what I mean? If this is like a $200 or $300 item, spending that much time might be a good idea. And then I have friends who source a lot of high-end collectibles, and they tend to buy collections because they're buying out of estate sales. So their first listing, let's say they're selling, I'm going to grab my water bottle, mid-century, I'm making this totally up, please, mid-century modern collectible water bottles. So the first one they list, actually they were doing some marbles. It was interesting, some very high-end marbles. So the first listing might take 20 minutes, half an hour for the high-end marble. But then once they've done their research on that type of item and the person producing that item and the period of that item and the keywords for that item, they're able to do sell similar and then do the rest of them very, very quickly. But what I want to say is if you have an enormous amount of unlisted inventory, whether you're calling it a money pile or a death pile or whatever you want to call it, but it's unlisted inventory, it's money that is staring you at the face, is to really take a long, hard look at how much time you're spending on your listings and look at ways to streamline and speed it up, okay? Which is, do you really need 10 pictures? No, you can do 4 or 5 pictures, okay? But I do encourage you when you're taking the pictures, I always take 2 of each because sometimes something will be slightly out of focus or I miss it and I don't see it until I upload it. So it's 2 of the pictures of the item from the front, 2 of the pictures of the item from the back, side, and then if there's a bottom, if there's an imperfection. But I do 2 of each, okay? With the title, and I'll catch myself on this because you can go down rabbit holes and you can do shiny object syndrome on titles and like spend endless amount of time researching. And again, listen, if your selling style is that you love to research, this is something that gives you great pleasure, that you're fine if you only have 50 listings up or 100 listings up. And even though you have an entire room full of unlisted inventory or several rooms full of unlisted inventory, you're fine about that because you just close the door, you ignore it, or it's organized, you're fine about it. And what you really enjoy, what brings you pleasure is the research. Go for it, right? Because that's that whole thing of don't copy somebody else's style. But if your focus is on, man, I want to get this stuff listed, I just want to get it listed, I want to get it sold, then really stick a clock next to you. I've got a little clock on my desk besides the clock on my computer, and go 10 minutes, that's it, it's up, okay? It's up. And then if it stays up, more than 3 or 4 months, you can go back and play around with it, okay? But get it up, get it listed, get it up, get it listed, get it up, get it listed. Because that pile of unlisted inventory is not making you any money. It's consuming your money. That's money that you have spent, unless people are just handing you things, and that's nice when they do. But still, it's taking up space in your home. Okay? Is just streamline it. If you typically spend 20 minutes researching, make it 10 minutes or make it 5 minutes. If you typically spend 20 minutes on your keywords, get it down to 10, get it down to 5. And when you look at other people's selling styles, it can sound great, but it may not suit you. Okay, it may not suit you. For me, I like to take a little time on the pictures because that's really going to grab people's attention. But this lovely seller that's doing very, very well, the way she's attracting buyers is her price. It's her price. She's going mass market. And you know what? If that's what works for you, do it. And find sellers and selling style that are like that and do it. If you're more like you like to craft a little bit of the listing and the description, then you're going to be following me because that's what I like to do. But again, watch the clock. This is your life. You don't want to be doing listings for 14 hours a day, right? We want to get out and enjoy the sunshine and take a walk and enjoy our family and friends and our hobbies, okay? So it's just watch it because then you move faster. But look at the different selling styles on eBay because there's a lot of different ones and they're all successful. It's like, I live in New York City. If you can't tell from the background, there's a lot of different stores in New York City. You have little tiny cute boutiques. Their prices tend to be a little higher, but they give you a lot of personal attention. Things are beautifully displayed. They're hand-picked. It's curated. If that's your selling style, you go for it, okay? Which is things are hand curated. You take a lot of time, you take a lot of effort. Just know things typically will take longer to sell, okay? It's called a long tail item. But the people that come in, they love the personal attention they get from you. Perhaps you wrap everything like a gift with little notes. It's a different experience. Are you more like a Macys, but obviously on a smaller scale? Macys Herald Square is huge. You sell soup to nuts. So some things are quite expensive, are luxury, right? And they might sit there for a little while. And other things are more moderate price items. So you've got a little bit of something for everyone. You might be an artisan. So coming into your store is like walking into a studio with beautiful paintings and sculptures, or perhaps like here in New York City, the beautiful boutiques with everything handcrafted shawls, and maybe I'm trying to think of different things. Toys. The toys are handcrafted. Okay, it's what is your selling style, and then you find something that works for you. Beautiful boutique, mass market, tighter niche, wider margins. And then do not compare yourself to someone with a drastically different selling style. I've got one great friend in the Midwest, and she lives in an area where there's a lot of stuff that gets in from the Olympics, of all things. Okay. So she gets a lot of cool stuff from different Olympics. So when it's Olympic season, she does very, very well with all of her Olympic items. Okay. Here in New York, we have Broadway. We have off-Broadway. There's going to be things in the thrift stores here in New York that I have access to that somebody in other parts of the country don't. People that live near Disney theme parks, all of this, you're going to be able to source things that other people are not able to access. So compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges. There is no one size fits all selling style on eBay. That's the good news. And as a new seller, I encourage you to list, because the way you're going to learn about selling is to list, and list things that are easier to ship. I encourage you to do that first. My more experienced sellers, if you're looking to expand, right? Maybe you're a soup to nuts, or you might be slightly tighter niche. Look at what's selling for you, and are there things that are related to that you could start selling? An obvious one is if you sell a lot of women's clothing, perhaps then you could do women's jewelry. Okay, because that's something that's related. Maybe I'll go into shoes. One really good friend of mine who's a big sneaker seller wanted to expand and didn't want to expand more into sneakers. Amazing, even though eBay loves sneakers. Looked at athletic gear, which I thought was brilliant. So now sourcing and through thrift stores. So the sneakers are new in box. The clothing through thrift stores, of the shorts, the shirts, but for the most part used. Some new with tags because he's getting to some of it's in the sneaker stores, but for the most part used, doing very, very well because it's related. His sneaker people are also looking at like gym clothes, workout clothes. Okay. So again, it's not one size fits all. There is no one selling style. One is not more successful than the other. Okay. As sellers, of course, we always obey the rules and regulations of eBay, regardless of our selling style. But find people that are your vibe. Find people that source areas that you can source. Listen to people. Are they your kind of people as far as their ethics and their values and what they're encouraging you to do? Okay? Because that's what's going to help you be the seller that you want to be, that you'll love to be, because you want to love your eBay selling. That's why we're selling. Right now, and I'm going to date this, it is April 21st. We're coming up on Mother's Day. And if you're not aware of this, whether you are a mass market seller, a soup to nuts seller, a more niche seller, you might think, oh, Kathy, I really don't have anything for Mother's Day. And the truth is you do. Mother's Day is a huge, huge, huge category. It's a huge retail moment. And thousands and thousands and thousands of buyers are on eBay looking for stuff for their moms. And a huge range of things sell for Mother's Day. I used to work retail brick and mortar here in New York City, a lot of different stores. I know Mother's Day very, very, very well. And I've put together a free guide all about Mother's Day, things that sell for Mother's Day, called What Sells on eBay for Mother's Day. It's free. Grab it. Just hop over to my website. I love to be selling, and grab your copy. So that way you are optimized. You are ready to get lots and lots of sales for Mother's Day, regardless of your selling style. But experiment. Find the one that works for you. It may change. As you're selling on eBay for a while, your selling style can change. Enjoy it. Do it. Why not? The great thing about eBay is all different styles of selling work on eBay. It's not a one-size-fits-all platform. Hi, Vicki. How are you? So enjoy, and grab my free guide, What Sells on eBay for Mother's Day. Bye, sellers. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.